Yo, guys, Theo here. What's up? It's Sunday again, and we're here with another live. I see we have a few watching already. What's up, guys? Say hi in the chat, ask me something, tell me something, and like the stream. If you've not liked the stream, someone has, but not all of you. So you do that. Okay, today's stream might be short. It depends on you guys. I will stick around for the hour if we get enough going here, but I have some other stuff I could use the time for doing this evening. So we'll just see. I'm just saying that right off the top. So I have collected a few questions to answer while we start wait for people to drop in, I guess. So one funny one that I got here is favorite biceps exercise. Which one is my favorite biceps exercise? And it's a difficult one because biceps has been a notoriously difficult body part for me to grow. Um, and also I'm the kind of guy that I have a hard time answering a question like that because it's kind of like it doesn't really matter what exercise you do if you don't program properly and you're consistent and you progressively overload and la di da di da. But so I can say the biceps exercise that I do right now that I really like. So I have this one like a unilateral preacher curl. So imagine you have a bench, so you have support for the upper arm here. So you just curl very isolated. Okay, now the table is in the way, but very isolated. And you lean your upper arm on the bench. What I like about that is that it takes away all shoulder involvement because, might start doing this a little bit. Now we're just purely curling with the biceps in a shortened position like that. And the incline curl has always been a favorite because if you watch my, well, what did I call it? With the Uncommon Sense Bodybuilding full guide, the video, I talked about like one big thing in my style of training is getting a good stretch on the muscle, and some muscles it just comes more easily. It's more easily to get a good stretch. For most biceps exercises, we're the very least here. We're often here. It's a shortened position. If you want to stretch the bicep, we're going to go behind the body. So I've always liked the incline curl. You sit on sort of an incline curl like this. Lately, I even started like since I don't have a bench, I can't display it fully. But I'm not just actually just sitting here. I'm actually going higher up. So it's almost as if I was lying flat on a bench. It's just that if you take the typical gym bench and you're lying flat on it, you're gonna hit the floor with the dumbbells. But so instead, you just get up so you're all the way there and curl like that. I like that for a good stretch. I like the pelican curl too. That's a very unusual one. It's for the same reason that you actually get a good stretch. So you have rings, you stand, and you're going to be leaning forward. But you're basically in a position as if you're doing a push-up, but then you're sort of just leaning in to it like that, and then you're curling. And man, I don't often, biceps is one of the muscles that like don't really get sore for me, specifically from pelican curls, especially if I haven't done them in a while, get really sore. So those would be some favorites. I used to think I liked the barbell curl a lot. Just compound curling with a bar like that. But I've noticed I have such big imbalances on my left and right biceps that the right just took over kind of. Wasn't good. So that's why I like to have one at least unilateral exercise for it now. See some people dropping in. Please like the stream. Please say hi in the chat, ask a question, tell me something. How your week has been. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, but that's it. What it comes down to with the stuff like isolated exercises, especially, is kind of like trust what you feel. I would say the best biceps exercises would be the ones I'm not the one that always talk about you have to feel the muscle, you have to feel it, because some muscles you don't feel as much, especially if it's like bigger movements. Like when you're doing it like chin-ups, you might not necessarily feel the lats contracting so much like that because it's kind of a numb muscle like that, but you have to use your lats. But something like the biceps, there are so many other muscles that flex the elbow. So I think it's a good way of determining if you really feel your biceps burning. then it's a good exercise, and then you just apply everything you would otherwise, progressive overload, consistency, like that. Yes. Okay, you're very quiet today, guys. Like, say hi. Say hi at the very least. Or ask me something, tell me something. Another question I got here before was, how will I cut after I'm finished bulking? So I think I answered this on another stream before. I don't really have a plan for it like that, because it's just easy for me at this moment. Not easy technically, simple. I can get the job done always. I don't have to be too strategic about it like that. But I'm bulking. I want to bulk until spring, basically. But since I typically do a Christmas fast, I'll probably do that. So it's gonna be a little like mini mini mid bulk cut like that. But other than that, say just imagine I bulk for another half a year. I'll probably start my cut the same way with some kind of longer fast, and then probably just hit the old daily deficit for myself because I will want to train more often. And then probably just throw in, when I feel like it, a little shorter fast, like a 60-hour fast, something like that. I have the dilemma that I would like to fast right now for like just other reasons, kind of spiritual reasons. I can feel myself just needing a cleanse like that. But I worked hard to put on weight now. And yeah, I just can't put a dent in my progress already with that. So I'm gonna have to be patient and not fast. Very funny this, and it always working with clients, and mostly like the overwhelming majority of my clients have weight loss goals, and often problems getting there. I have the opposite problems all the time, and instead of I have to fast to lose weight, is like I can't fast because I have to gain weight. But yeah, I was stuck for a long time between 84 and 85 kilos. Now starting to see some really big numbers in the morning. This morning, 88.9 is kind of crazy, but I did eat a lot yesterday. I ate closer to bedtime than usual. So I know it's kind of inflated, but I've seen close to 87 many mornings too. So yeah, I kind of like the current body weight I'm at. It makes you feel big without feeling too fluffy, at my body composition at least. Okay. The last one I got that I feel like I've talked about so many times, but it's how did I stop my panic attacks? Or like, yeah, that's how they phrased it. But I guess, how did I get rid of the panic attacks? Well, yeah, when it started, when I had the first one, and it was so intense, much worse than all the other ones, even though like the first one shook me so much that it felt like it never really ended. Like for 2 weeks after that, I felt like I was like in some sort of mild panic state all the time. I felt like I was watching myself from the outside all the time. If I wasn't acutely distracted, I could get like being on the subway, say I'm watching my phone, doing something, and look away briefly. It's as if I'm sitting over there and looking at me. I'm like, freak out and try to distract myself with the phone again. But so what I realized as soon as this first happened, when I realized all I feel like doing is hiding away, being at home. Hey, someone with a name I can't pronounce says, "What's up, bro? Greetings from Indonesia." So I guess it's in Indonesian, your name. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Never seen you before. How you doing? Have any question for me? Anything interesting to tell me about? Please let me know. But good to see you either way. No, but what I realized, because it was so intense, and all I felt like was just hiding from the world, I realized that that's what I can't do, because that's going to become my life then. And it's funny. It's funny that us humans work like this, because so many things that I've been scared of, like way less than this, and just uncomfortable with, I was kind of no, I want to run away from that, flee from that. But it took for something to be this intense where I realized, shit, I have to do something about this, or else this is going to become my life. So I think with everything that's incredibly scary and difficult for you, I think exposure therapy is really all you can do. Because, like for me here, for whatever reason, my body felt like almost any social situation felt like a threat. It's something in my nervous system, like that just something about my whole system thinks it's like helping me out by telling me, hey, you're in acute danger. You need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. But it's not helpful, of course, when there actually isn't any danger. You don't have to get out. That's kind of what trauma is, like something, a fear response that once served you, that doesn't anymore. But it was really just through exposure that I overcame all of that. Like I went on sick leave for 50% because it was a good idea to give myself a kind of break during that time. But I also realized, having a routine of going to work and that is going to be good because just that felt like climbing a mountain. So that's what I did. I just tried to go to work, and that's it. I'm gonna be there for just like 4 hours, and that's like my task, my big task for the day. Many times I can't come there. I have to go even sooner because I just freak out, have another panic attack. Sometimes I don't even make it to the job. I come down in the subway and there's just so many people there. I'm just like, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. But with continuous exposure therapy, not feeling as if anything is changing, and then there's a few key moments when I actually pushed myself to do more because now, like any situation was threatening. So when I pushed myself to do actual things that are actually that I could actually have that kind of reaction to before. I remember competing with a quartet in a Nordic championship of barbershop singing. That was scary as hell, you know. Um, and it didn't go all that well. But that wasn't the point for me, at least. It was to expose myself to it. And I can recall in Moscow, we're gonna have with a choir. I was in a concert, and I want to go. I don't want to be there. Every fiber in my body is like, you'll die. You'll die if you do it. I went out on stage. Didn't sing all that great. I took my place in the choir, sang where I could and mouthed the words when I had to. And when I had done that, I remember particularly that one felt it was like a big game changer. Like shit, this it felt like so impossible to do, but I did it. And so at some point here, after 3 months, the panic attacks just stopped. I was still very worn out, stressed out, burnt out, but I was like, hey, I'm actually not getting these panic attacks anymore. And the rest is history. When I'm like, I will never have this situation ever again. I'm gonna try this with eating better, training, la di da di da, and that's when Uncommon Sense started. It just that I started what I do, this kind of stuff I do and talk about on this channel. I started 1 year before starting the actual channel, but that's that. Um, I'll get to pink supremacy, but this Indonesian guy. So, nice to see you. I have a question. Is 110 pounds too light for beginner bench press? Thank you. Like, see, this, yeah, I'm just a little, did it happen here? Are we here? Happen here? Are we here? What happened to my camera? I apparently you can hear me. That's annoying. How do I fix this? Oh, we do this. Blah blah blah. Did that work? But now I'm a square. Why? This is so annoying. What does it look like? Okay, this is so strange. I guess I'm gonna have to be a square for now. So strange. How did that happen? Hmm. But okay, I got that question. Yeah, Kristen Thomas, video is stuck, but audio is clear. Well, yeah, I guess We have the frozen me in the background and a new square me here now. That's so strange.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, my Indonesian friend, it's a interesting. Yeah, the working square. It's an interesting question when you say, is 110 pounds too light for a beginner bench press? What do you mean by that? Like, and I'm asking this to try to teach you something. It's like it's too light if you can lift more for a like amount of reps, that a significant amount of reps. You see, if 110 pounds is what you can do like 10 reps to failure with, it's not too light. You can't lift too light if it's like, if depending on the exercise, of course, but like it's impossible to say if a weight, unless it was something ridiculous, like, oh, is 10 pounds bench press too little. But like a number, 110 pounds, yeah, that is not a high number. But if that's like heavy for you, if you are within a reasonable rep range when you reach like failure or close to it, it's not too light, it's good. So yeah, it's just interesting, when people kind of look at it as if a weight in and of itself could be too light. It's relative. It's relative to your level. So 110 pounds. I mean, I had a client when I was working in the gym. I remember one guy that was around where we started with him, and it was reasonable. I don't remember exact amount of reps he did, but you see, for me, it would be very light. And I know you said for a beginner, but there could be. I know a guy that the first time he ever bench pressed, never, literally never bench pressed, he could like take 225 pounds for reps. He's an outlier, of course, but you see what I'm saying? It's a weight is only too light relative to the individual. There is nothing a general like, yeah, that's too light. You should have more weight. I don't know you, you know. So I hope that just helps you understand. It's like, yeah, just train at a high intensity and add weight. Just don't stick to 110 pounds every workout, of course. Yeah, it's hip to be a square. Tobao says, I don't think I've seen you either. What's that in your picture? So we're 11 people here. 6 likes. Come on, more likes, please. And I said, of course, not all of you know that. I said at the start of the stream, I'm a bit tired and I have some stuff that I could use this time for doing. So unless you guys talk a bit, interact, and ask me some things, make me talk about something, I'm gonna go today, early today. But if you make it so we can stick around for an hour, I will. Um, Try to figure out what that's in your picture. I don't quite know. Yeah, guys, I got this vodka, bison grass vodka from my Polish cleaning lady. Legal, by the way. She's from Poland. She used to do that stuff illegally here, but now she has a legal business. I'm, of course, not really a drinker. I'm like, in Sweden, we say nykterist. That means like a literal, that you literally never drink. But I'm not, I don't literally never drink. I just drink very little. But this is something, like having like one vodka could be something I do every 2 months or something. So I'm guessing this will last me a year. Um, a man's face in close up. You, now I see. Ha! That's funny. I really didn't see that. It looked like a bunny to me or something. That's funny. Um, oh yeah, a pink supremacy said here. Back up, but I was confused by my weird camera problem here. I've been doing between 2,000 to 2,100 calories now for about 2-3 weeks. Weight is dropping slowly. Yeah, good. Is it pink supremacy? I never get. I feel like you've been cutting and fasting and stuff forever. Um, I'll talk about. I've seen all your videos. Never been in a live before. Well, cheers, man. That's nice. Hey, there's an unusual amount of people here, and unusually low engagement in the chat. So please please talk, ask me something, tell me something. Okay. Um, let's see. Fit Bro Joe, are humans carnivores or herbivores? What's your thoughts? Neither. Omnivores. I would say like my philosophy is that the most central part of the diet is the animal foods. Like if I had to pick, like, are you carnivore or herbivore? I would definitely go carnivore. Um, it would suck though to not get the carbs. If I can count the honey as carnivore because it's from the bees, the animal, right? Then maybe. But I think we were hunter-gatherers to begin with. I think we like the majority of our calories and nutrients come from animals, and then I think we still ate some fruits, pick some fruits and vegetables. So I would say we're omnivores, but it's the meat, the eggs, that's the central part of the diet, and the other stuff is like the cherry on top. That's kind of the way I view it. Um, yeah, pink supremacy. Have you done piss fasting? It's so funny. It's so funny that I found myself being a person that, like, a few times per year, I get asked if I drink my piss. But now, like, I tried it way back when I got into fasting. I did it like a couple of 48-hour fasts where I was just cycling my own piss. To be honest, it's just kind of interesting to try because, we put pee gross, but it's like it's something coming out of you. How bad can it be? Like you've had it in you. But of course it is a little like in a civilized society drinking piss is not the norm, so I think it can be kind of an interesting thing to try to just be a little freaky, like again, another of the like civilized suits of the modern human, like suits, like metaphorical suits. You see, like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know that I believe that there's a lots of like to be honest, this with like urine fasting. So I hear Cole still like promoting it and stuff, but I just don't believe in it. I'm an uncommon sense kind of guy. It would be more intuitive to us to drink our own piss if it was actually useful because it's so available. You would actually feel like, oh man, I can't wait until I pee so I can get my piss. Um, like I can see the use though. Like if you're stranded on an island, that you would loop your urine because you would get some electrolytes, minerals that you won't get from just water. But like in an everyday, just normal situation, I just can't see the purpose of it. So yeah, I tried a couple of 48-hour fasts or something doing it, but not really a fan. Don't really think much use for it. Yeah. And Fitbro Joe said, yeah, he meant omnivores. Yeah. And definitely not herbivores, definitely not carnivores only, but the meat, the animal stuff, most central. Then we add some fruits and vegetables, and mushrooms and that on the side. Um, our Indonesian friend, thank you for your answer. I'm only calisthenic. By the way, are you calisthenic or gymnastic? Definitely not a gymnast. I'm a whatever takes me to my goal kind of guy. And I'm a bodybuilder. I want to build a good physique, but I also want to get strong and I want to be flexible. But that's kind of the hierarchy for me right now. So I do some mainly weighted calisthenics exercises, like the ones I don't do all of these right now, but the ones that I would do in general are like chin-ups and pull-ups, different variations, different grips, weighted, do dips, also different variations. Right now, I really like having the weight belt on the neck because it actually makes you tilt, lean forward more, isolates the chest better. Ringy push-ups, I absolutely love. Um, and these will be my main calisthenics exercises that I do. But at some point, uh, I would want to like get into the more advanced calisthenics. It's just that I feel bodybuilding, the holistic bodybuilding stuff that I do, I still have more progress to make. Um, I just, I want to milk it a bit more because when you have attained a certain amount of muscle, it's always easier to maintain. But for me to make progress right now, I have to push it quite hard. So I will keep doing my style. That includes some calisthenics, and then I might dabble in the other stuff, like even something that maybe could be called gymnastics. We'll see. It's my face zoomed in and the Roffel emoji. Yeah, I figured somehow I see a little bunny. I saw a little bunny like lying, looking at me like this. uh, Kristen Thomas, are you 6 feet? And then he says, in India, people drink cow urine for medical reasons. Well, maybe the cow's urine, I don't know, but our own, I'm saying, because it's so available, I feel like it would come intuitively. Because most things that our body needs and wants, it tells you very clearly, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, you know. I've just never felt like, oh, piss, right? Um, and Pig Supremacy asks, how's the bench coming along? It's moving, like, I have right now. It's funny, I'm like better at at incline benching than flat benching. Of course, I'm moving more weight in the flat bench, but it's like the gap is smaller than it should be. But right now, I've done, how I've done this bulk with many of my compounds is that I started somewhere where I had like ish 5 reps. I've just tried to push that up to 10 reps on these different exercises until I add weight, start over. So the flat bench, I push 100 kilos to 9 reps per set. So the goal is if I can hit 10 reps tomorrow, then I'll go up in weight. Incline benching, I've done 90 kilos for 9 reps, and that's what I mean. The gap is like smaller than it should be between those two. So bench is really not a strong exercise for me. Like, of course, I'm sure some people would think that's a lot, but to me, I can get so much stronger, really. So, but it's coming along. It's coming along. And Pink Supremacy says, I've been throwing around a 70-kilo sandbag at home, and it's really fun, to be honest. Great exercise too. It's fucking hard to throw 70 kilos over your shoulder a couple of times. Yeah, that's great. Uh, I love for the difficult stuff in general. But it's great when you can find stuff that's just kind of fun to do. Like this mace that I have in the background. It's just 8 kilos, but it's different training than a sandbag, of course. But it's good. It can be good full body training in a sense, but it's kind of fun. And because you mentioned the sandbag, when I was training this elderly couple, it wasn't a 70-kilo sandbag, but I had this like 5-kilo bag that I had them like throw it to each other and stuff. And of course, they had to be explosive, and I might have to squat and like brace to catch it and stuff. And they just had fun doing that instead of like, now you're gonna do the reps of this exercise kind of thing. So that's always good. Swaka Barakat. Hello. Hello, hello. As you see, this Indonesian guy says, I'm 176 centimeters, 5'9". In my Asian country, it's too tall. Well, we're about the same height. It's funny, they think you can be too tall. Uh, like, are you a girl? Like, I can't really tell in your picture because it's like half your face, but it looks like you're wearing something, like, over your head. Um, it's funny that, especially then, if you asked about the bench before, it's kind of strong for a beginner girl. Um, yeah, no, because, oh well, I don't know. I guess you'll tell me. Swaka Barakat, incline bench makes your upper chest bigger, so your clavicle less visible. Clavicle is sexy though. Thoughts? I don't think that's true necessarily. Like I built a good upper chest. My clavicles always showing. I don't think that's true. I just don't think it's true. Like yeah, it's like especially when we're speaking like natural, the you're not gonna build a muscle, so it's too big. It doesn't look good. It's just not gonna happen, to be honest. Um, no, but especially the clavicles. Like I don't know. I saw myself on the screen, but I don't know how much you can see, but mine are definitely. See, you hear that sound even? No, no, no. Build a big upper chest. Jim Bro myth busted. Yeah, all the bullshit myths. There's so many things. Oh no, no. Do you know how frustrating it is? I don't want to say, I would say I'm very good when it comes to gym training, okay, and understanding the body. When we're talking conditioning stuff and that, it's not my best expertise. When we're talking general strength and hypertrophy training in the gym, I know quite a bit about it, and it's so frustrating to you always hear people in the gym give each other completely wrong advice, and of course sometimes it makes sense to get involved and like say something. There's so many times you just know like, nah, they wouldn't listen to me at all. They would just think I'm bothering them. But one that you hear often, is like, I heard someone instruct someone to squat recently, like, and you don't want your knees to be moving out over your toes. No, that's bad, and it's typical. It's like it's a weak position. It's not that you're supposed to try to avoid it. That's definitely going to make you move in an unnatural movement pattern. But yeah, that's just one example. There are so many things like, oh, don't do this, and you're like, many myths. Okay, I'm a 19-year-old guy in the profile picture. She's my girlfriend. Oh, I see. So they think guys can be too tall? Because I think here it's kind of just like the taller the better, unless you're like a freak. You're like 210 centimeters or something. Um, um, okay, and it also says, I want like you with 80 kilo weight. Now I'm 60 kilos. Well, right now I said it. I was 88.9 this morning, but that's definitely a big inflated number. But I'm probably, to be fair, I'm probably like 87 right now. But that's bulked up, of course. The lowest I was down to this summer was like 81 and a half. I'm pretty happy about that. That I feel like I'm never gonna weigh less than 80 kilos again, probably. I didn't think that would be possible. Uh, Yeah, I mean, like lean, even being lean and don't coming down under 80, I just didn't think I would hit that level, but I have, so that's cool. Um, Saka Barakat asks, how long have you been training for? So it's a little over 5 years now. Started after those panic attacks. It was late July 2018, and when I started training. I count when my training consisted of 5 sets of negative pull-ups every other day. Um, yeah, pig supremacy. Knees over toes fear is the same as lifting with a curved back fear. Our spine is supposed to bend. Yeah, it's so moronic too, because of course, it makes sense. If you have to do something heavy once, that you would try to put yourself in a strong position. But so many times in life, you don't think about that, and you can't always because you're like, oh, acting on the go. Like just imagine being a parent, and you're like you're with your kids, like playing or just watching them. You're doing all these weird movements, and if you only ever train in the strongest positions, you're actually leaving yourself vulnerable to get hurt when in real life. So yeah, I don't think, probably not still on my story. No, but I did, and I'm unfortunately not gonna be able to get it up on the screen now. But I do Jefferson curls, heavy Jefferson curls now with a rounded back. And people ask me like, "Oh, how's your back with that? How's your back with that?" The thing is, what you do with weak positions like knees over toes or rounded back, and that is, so you of course start low. You start low so you can ease into it. I did 110 kilos for this. Like, okay, I'm sorry that this is the only way I'm gonna be able to do it now. But let's see here. Can I actually see this? Okay, yeah. See, so it's a Searcher Jefferson curl. That's 110 kilos. No problem, 5 reps, 3 sets. But I didn't start here, of course. Of course, if this was the first time I tried the exercise, yeah, probably something would have snapped. But of course it wasn't. And yeah, it's so funny too that in the gym people are like, "Oh no, you have to don't round your back. You have a straight back." If they were thinking about how they're going about their life, they're not all like this all the time. They're gonna be leaning over all the time and stuff. So of course it makes sense to strengthen yourself even in the weaker positions. Svaka. Great physique for 5 years. You've been doing a lot of stuff right. Well, I appreciate that. Well, the thing about me that I always say is like what I got right from the start is like realizing I have to train hard. I have to train hard. I have to be consistent. I have to increase. I have to do more over time somehow. And the thing is, if you get those things down, it doesn't matter if your programming is not perfect, your form is not great, la di da di da, especially when you're a beginner. Because if you're consistent and training hard and trying to do more between, every workout, you're just gonna be improving. And then you want to have a growth mindset, of course. So you try to improve on all the other stuff as well. So I think that's the main thing for me. That I got the big ones down from the start, and then I had this growth mindset, and I've learned more and more and more. But I appreciate that. Um, Big supremacy. Jefferson curls are great. I lift eat either sandbag with a slightly rounded back, and it tastes great. Yeah. So about I'm 195 centimeters and 127 kilos at the moment. Lost 15 kilos from 142 kilos by eating animal-based diet with focus on high fat. What are your thoughts on keto versus carbs? Don't like keto at all. Hate it. Hate it. Eating all that fat, disgusting. Doesn't feel natural at all. But for some people, with weight loss, if it like, because I'm not dogmatic, like I would, my thing would always be that, with carbs, you're gonna be able to train harder, even on a cut, like almost always. Um, or like cutting or not, really. Carbs are just gonna be better for performance. I also think keto long term isn't a good idea. It seems to do strange things to people's hormones. Like we've had all these keto carnivore guys with like high total testosterone but low free testosterone because they have too much SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. And like these women, they're like lose hair after being on the keto diet for a long time. So, as an intervention diet, as a weight loss strategy, if that's, if it works better for you than with carbs, sure. Because like I say, I'm not dogmatic, but I would always prefer, if possible, to incorporate carbs, and I think carbs should go back in at some point. The exceptions would be, some kind of like type 1 diabetic, maybe. And then, of course, there's probably some ancestral things. Like some person, maybe their genetics just work better with it. But when I'm giving like a general answer like this, I very much prefer having carbs. But if it works better for you in a weight loss process, fine, do it. Swaka Barakat. Any tips for growing biceps and mid delts in terms of volume and reps? Everything is growing nicely except these stubborn muscles. So, um, like, the thing with this is like I would need to know what you're doing first, how advanced are you and all that. But I will say biceps, it's been a tough one for me as well. I feel like, at least. Like arms, I'm just a torso dominant guy. Like my chest, shoulders, and back grow more than the arms. Like, and I feel I put a lot of emphasis on the arms, and still the arms are lagging behind. Um, but experiment. What I feel like biceps, if you're gonna go like lower reps, like 6 to 10 reps, I feel biceps is one that you have to find an exercise where you really work the biceps, because there are so many others like brachioradialis assists in elbow flexion. You have the brachialis. And it doesn't hurt to build these two, of course, but if these take over every time when you want to train the biceps. um, so if you're gonna do lower reps, really find the exercise where you're like, yeah, it is the biceps working. Um, but experiment with volume and stuff like that as well. I recently, because I feel like biceps, even more than triceps, has been a difficult muscle for me. I started one of my, or like my upper workout. I do pelican curls before I do chin ups, and my pull workout, I do like 2 biceps exercise before I go do the main pulling work. And I'm just gonna see, like, if it's gonna make a difference if I don't always get to biceps at the end when I'm already quite taxed. The mid delts, I will say, you just smash lateral raises, and upright rows, good too. But smashing, I feel personally for me, shoulders are one of the muscles that respond best to isolated work, more than many muscles. So lateral raises and go way beyond failure. Like I used to like to either rep out partial reps after like not being able to go the entire way, or actually have dumbbells prepared um, to drop set like that. I really love for mid delts to do. If you have a double cable, you can have handles, but especially if you have these cuffs, so you don't even have to hold, and because you can get a fuller stretch on the delt, and then do it like that. It's great. Um, and the shoulders, I feel like they respond a lot to just smashing the intensity, really, like drop sets, partial reps, all like that. Um, yeah, but I feel like the mid delts is some. I focused always more on the mid delts than the other head of the delts, and what I've been doing really is I haven't even been doing that much shoulder pressing and stuff. Like it's really smashing lateral raise variations quite hard, and some seated like dumbbell presses like this. But yeah, that's what I have for you right now. Pig supremacy. Have you tried any sauna blankets? Blankets? No, I don't quite know what the purpose of that is. Our Indonesian friend here. In my country, Indonesia, average height is 5'1" for women and 5'3" for men. The house is too tiny in my country. For example, the door in my house is too close in my hair or top of my head. Yeah, okay. But do others think like, oh wow, tall, handsome guy, as to, are you feeling short being 176 centimeters in your homeland? It's below average. I think the average in Sweden is 181, and I actually think I'm 177 now, um, because of the postural improvement of this lifestyle. Like when they measured me the last time, they said 177. But I don't really feel short, like especially because I'm quite big. It's difficult for me to feel like small in general. And it's so little below the average. So nah, nah, I don't. If you're on the dating apps, which am not a fan of really, like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's Stockholm, it's terrible to be on there. But someone might when they're sitting on an app scrolling, they might be like, "Nah, he's too short," But I don't feel that I'm that short that it will be a problem if I go out like trying to charm a lady like that. So no, I don't really feel short, truly. Gadi. Hey Theo, can you talk about fasting benefits on test and muscle building? Well, I don't recall the details now, but I know that they did a study where, during the fast, the test will tank, go to old man levels. But when you refeed again, it will actually go above baseline for a while. And then I think it goes back down a bit again, but probably like in the long term, probably leads to like slight increase like that. Like I've theorized before that as with many things, the body gets more and less adapted to different things, can build like tolerance, not to everything, but to certain things. And I just speculated that maybe if you fast, you take away like the protein altogether, so it's not gonna, trigger mTOR, IGF-1, these growth factors in the body, that maybe doing like a long fast will make the body like just more sensitive to everything then, like to eating protein and training and all that. And it's kind of a bro science idea like that, just like using a little bit of logic. But it's also from when I did a 1 week fast quite some time ago now. But I felt as if I just kind of blew up in the weeks after that. And I was like, maybe I'm imagining it. But then I got a lot of comments like that. So, I think fasting short term, of course, it doesn't help with putting on muscle, but I definitely, like as a whole in your regimen, if you do fast every once in a while, I actually think they will help you with your gains long term like that. Um, yeah, I hope that helps. Svaka Barakat, intermediate, I train low reps, 6 to 7 with moderate volume. Lol, I am kind of scared to do preacher curls. And why? And why is everyone so afraid of everything? Like my thing is the opposite. Like I go and injure myself, so I had to be a little afraid of it afterwards. But yeah, I say that I'm a big one on that. That the person that leans more towards taking too big of a risk than the other way, they still have better potential, because they can at least go for it. And then if they have to learn the hard way, learn from that, or just dial it back a bit. While the person that's always careful, or like can't push themselves hard and stuff, you know, there's just not much happening there. And yeah, I hear people are afraid of preacher cards. It's just kind of like start with a weight that's reasonable. Like, what is there to be afraid of? Just don't be an idiot. It's like, yeah. And yeah, okay, Tobal from Sweden as me, tall guy. Oh, Vlad, good to see you, man. What is your salt intake? Do you mix cold salts or is sodium enough? Also, is vinegar good or not necessary during the snake fast? So, I mean, the thing is, this is always the thing when you're someone like myself, coach, and you're doing it like I just listen to my body. I don't have to measure things too closely at this point. So my salt intake, I don't know, it's very high. It's very high. um, but on a fast, it depends so much. I'm talking about this too. If I'm just sitting on my ass, if I have a chill fast like that, maybe I'll just have like a teaspoon of sodium chloride and 1 teaspoon of potassium chloride. Drink 2 liters of water that day. But if I'm out and about or in the sauna and sweating a bunch, I might triple that almost. Like not the water probably, but I have the salt. Um, so um, let's see. Like cold salts. Like I think sodium is the important one, but potassium is the other main one. So why not? But to be honest, it's not as if you need the salts for on the fast either. If we're gonna be that way. They are just for well-being on the fast really, and compliance for some. Like especially some junk food addicts, they're gonna like a lot of the cravings. Like that some people why they crave like salty junk food, like we're thinking more the fatty, salty stuff, is actually because their body has identified this as a source for like sodium electrolytes. So it might help with cravings like that, and just feeling better on the fast. But it's not that the fast is like dangerous or something if you don't. See what I mean? The only point with the salts is to feel good. The vinegar, uh, like I don't even know all the benefits for it. It's like it's good for the kidneys. Um, could maybe like enhance the fat burn this tiniest little bit, but it's not necessary. I wouldn't say it's necessary. It's kind of one of those things. Like if you want to do it, I would never tell you like no, don't have apple cider vinegar on the fast. Like why not? Um, but yeah, Gary, how often would you recommend a fast and how long if you want to build muscle long term? Like, look, uh, it's like this is this it's like I wouldn't tell you just a fast and how long if you want to build muscle long term. It's kind of like just if you have like a period of the year when you do some more fasting and you're cutting with a fast or you're kind of maintaining in between them, like that's you're setting yourself up now for later on. It's going to be better when you're bulking. So I don't recommend anything in particular other than implement fast at some point. Take a little time when you do more fasting, and then go back from it. It's not something specific I would recommend. Like just generally like this. Like if you're a client I'm working with and I know your entire regimen and your progress and all this, absolutely we could program something like, okay, during these 2 months you're gonna do this amounts of these fasts. But you see, it's really like, to be honest, if we're gonna give some kind of general answer, I think doing something like 5 to 7 day fast just once, and then getting back to eating and training, I think probably that would be enough to start with like that. You see, this is what I do for me. Like right now, I'm not fasting anything. Now I'm bulking, and I'm gonna be doing that. But I'm gonna take a break in the Christmas, do my Christmas fast. Then I'm gonna get back to my bulking, then I'm gonna start my cut with a longer fast again, and then I'm gonna be doing a little bit of fasting, when I kind of cut or maintain for a while, and then back to bulking. So you see, it's not like it's not so much that like, oh, I fasted now, I have to immediately get to use what I got from the fast to build muscle. No, it's kind of like when think holistically. Think big picture. What's my entire regimen? What things do I do in my year? That's kind of how I want you to be thinking. Fit bro Joe. Only way to hurt yourself on a curl is if you're a juice head with big ego. Fuck's sake. Yeah, it's true. Like, of course, you technically could hurt yourself otherwise, but yeah, it would typically be like bicep tears has been such a big thing in the like influencer fitness industry, and of course, those it's always juiced up guys or like either like trying to strict curl as heavy as they can or something, or they're just quite strong and are training heavy. And I think for you that don't know what happens, because this guy knows obviously, but what happens is like generally muscles grow faster than tendons and ligaments, but especially if you're a juice head and the muscles are just take off, often be way beyond your tendons and that. So it's just way more likely that you hurt yourself. And so, yeah, there's been many bicep tears from those kinds of guys. Hey, Theo, I'm out now. In my country, the time is 11 p.m. Nice to see you. Well, nice to see you too, my Indonesian friend. Have a good one. Are you think average or not? If you're still here, 195 centimeters is not average here. It's quite tall anywhere. 181 centimeters is the average in Sweden. Oh, guys, this turned out to be a pretty good stream. I'm still gonna, since we don't have anything more to work with in the chat right now, I'm actually, because I have some stuff to do here, so I'm gonna end it a little bit earlier today, but I appreciate you guys. See you next week, same time. Um, and uh, quick one, because Charlie, please let us know the dates of your long fast at Christmas so some of us can join you. I've done that before. I didn't do it quite the same because I was in Greece this year, but yeah, I absolutely will, of course. I've done public, like group fast like that before, so definitely. Um, yeah, see you, brother, Svaka. But yeah, tune into other videos in the week. Please come to the next live stream, same time, Sunday next week. And yeah, have a good one, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.